Ladies and gentlemen, it's Saturday Night Vlog with your host, Franklyn McInnis. Enjoy the show. The San Diego Comic-Con is a huge time of the year for geeks, nerds, whatever you want to call yourselves, including myself in that group. It gets mentioned pretty often on Big Bang Theory. That lets you know how important it is to nerds. And a lot of news comes out around this time, not just related to comic books, but also comic book movies. It's even going beyond comic books now, and different movies are represented there. Just all forms of media. A little bit of video game news that kind of follows up from E3. And of course, it's a big time of the year for Funko as well. So Funko Pops that are exclusive to the convention, of course, those are revealed. And some of those, they do end up being available to the public, but at a later date. So that means they do wind up in stores. And Funko this week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, they release waves 1 through 3 of what's going to be available at the convention. And then some of these, like I said, will be available to the general public later on as well. So I just want to go ahead and give my personal thoughts about what they've revealed thus far. I know if you're up on your Funko news, you probably have seen these figures by this point. But I just want to give my quick feedback on what I think about waves 1, 2, and 3. And by the way, if you don't know, for the next couple of weeks leading up to the convention, Funko is going to continue with that on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Original Funko, you can check for Original Funko on Periscope, and then they also put their live streams, they record them, and then they had them available on YouTube as well. I think they also have it broadcast on their Twitter account. I'm not 100% sure about that. But yeah, there's different ways that you can check out and see what figures will be available. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, Original Funko, they do share what is going to be available. Wave 1 here, it includes the Powerpuff Girls. I'm not a big fan. I think they look, cute enough. I do wonder if they're going to do Mojo Jojo as well. Seems like they would. That'd probably be the main villain for them to focus on. But I think they look reasonably cute. Just not my thing. They have this exclusive 3-pack of Sex Bomb, which is from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I really love that movie. I'm entertained by it every time that I check it out. But human characters tend to look kind of dull, to a certain extent. And yeah, so I don't really know if I would buy any Scott Pilgrim vs. the World pop figures. It's not something I would go out of my way for sure. Next up here, they finally have Green Goblin on a glider, and they took away the pumpkin. He's not holding a pumpkin anymore. I feel like they probably could have left that detail. I guess they just wanted to show that they were putting some effort in with a different mold. And this mold is kind of a mix because I believe it's glow in the dark, but then it also has some crystal going on and within it as well to really make it stand out. So it's a cool looking figure. The glider is kind of hard to tell how true it is to the comic books from the pictures they've shown. Looks decent enough. Overall, I think it's a cool figure, but I think the Chase metallic figure, which I'm lucky enough to possess, I think it looks just as cool, if not cooler than this one. So again, not something I'd probably go out of my way for. The next character there, honestly, I keep forgetting what her name is. I know she comes from the Wreck-It Ralph movie, and she was voiced by Sarah Silverman. Really not something I'm that interested in, but as far as Dorbz rides go, and just rides in general, this has a lot of detail to it. It definitely is a pretty cool looking ride, but again, just not something for me. So I know thus far it sounds like I'm not really interested in any of this, but there is one thing that I would like, and it's the last thing that you see here, and that is the 3-pack of Dorbz from Batman Returns. You have Batman, Catwoman, and then the Penguin. I think they look pretty awesome. I definitely like them together in that 3-pack. So if that gets a wide release, that is something that I will be on the lookout for. And I really did like Batman Returns as a movie. Michelle Pfeiffer, definitely greatest Catwoman ever. Love her eyes. Absolutely beautiful. And she just really embodied that character well. The Penguin, I think they went a little bit maybe too grotesque with him. Good casting, but maybe just a little too grotesque. But I like these designs. I like Michael Keaton as Batman. Really looking forward to seeing him in Spider-Man Homecoming. I think he's probably going to be the Vulture, but we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Michael Keaton is actually one of my favorite actors and has been for a long time, going all the way back to Batman and Beetlejuice. He's just a great actor. Keeping it moving here to Wave 2, the founder of Funko, he is a huge fan of Hanna-Barbera, so we have these characters here from Hanna-Barbera. Trying to think of the character's name, and it's kind of rough to see it in the pictures. I know he's like a hippopotamus, and his name is a play on that, and he has his little monkey buddy So-So along with him. It might be Peter Potamus, possibly, as the name of the hippopotamus there. Then these Duck Dodgers figures, they do look really cool. I gotta admit, if I could get my hands on one of those, I'd be pretty happy with it. They are glow in the dark. One of them is more limited than the other. I believe it's the bluish one there. I think that's the one that's more limited to like 750 pieces, while the white one is like 1500 pieces. But I think they both look great. They're glow in the dark, but I think the gloves and the footwear is metallic. So it's just a really cool looking piece. Like I said, I'd love to have either one of those. Not gonna pay crazy money for it, but it would be nice to have. Next up there, the Superman False God figure, which is a reference to the Batman vs Superman movie. I'm not too happy with that design. I feel like it was kind of lazy to reuse that same mold. They should have at least molded the figure to resemble the statue in the movie. To me, that would make a lot more sense, but I don't know, some people are happy with that design, so you know, it's whatever, I guess. We got another Deadpool, yes, another Deadpool, this black and white Deadpool, which I really have no interest in. I have more than enough Deadpool, more than I ever thought I would own. So yeah, I don't need another Deadpool, and I don't think there's anything too spectacular about that one. And then they have these Alice in Wonderland Dwarves, a 4-pack, which if you're really into that, I think it is cool to get 4 characters together, but just not for me personally. So again, out of this wave, the Duck Dodgers is really the only thing that I'd have an interest in, but I know the prices are going to be way up there for those figures, so I really don't see myself getting them. And I'm looking forward though to seeing how the common Duck Dodgers figure will look. If it looks cool enough, I may get that one, because I really did enjoy those cartoons. And then wave 3 here, they took the Haunted Mansion ghosts, which were only available at the Disney parks, and they basically just reversed the colors. So instead of 3 blue and 1 white, it's 1 blue and 3 white now. They just reversed the colors of the characters, which again seems a little on the lazy side to me, but I have a feeling a lot of people will be after those. Just not for me. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, not a huge fan, even though I do think that's kind of a funny looking figure there. The girl that's all blown up from, I can't remember what she ate, like a blueberry, or it's something related to blueberry. I just don't know the movie that well. But I'm sure, some people will want that one, especially if they have the rest of the collection and they want to go ahead and complete it. 2 big standouts here for me, and this is why Wave 3 is my favorite wave thus far. I really like that Doctor Strange, especially the pose and with the rune on his hand. That looks awesome. I definitely want that one, and I know that one is going to be wide release eventually. And then, of course, being a huge Harley Quinn fan, you know that I definitely want that Rock Candy figure, and that is the new 52 version of Harley Quinn, I believe. So yeah, I definitely want that one as well. There are some other upcoming releases. I don't believe any of these are necessarily tied to the convention, but I just wanted to share these as well. They have the strawberry shortcake ones, which are scented, and I know some people think that's kind of corny to have scented pop figures. I'm kind of indifferent when it comes to that. I mean, I'm not gonna spend much time sniffing a pop. If I bought a scented pop, I'd probably smell it one time, and then if I let anybody else check it out, I might tell them to get a sniff of it or whatever. But it's to me, it's not like a huge feature. I don't think it takes away from the figures at the same time. So I really don't necessarily understand complaining about it. I don't think it hurts the pops at all. Now, if it's something that drives up the value, that really wouldn't make much sense to me. Okay, in the center of the screen here, you see that they have some more WWE pops on the way. I don't collect those. I do have a Brock Lesnar figure. That's mainly because he's also an MMA guy. He's fought in the UFC and he's coming back to the UFC at least for one event. I don't know how that's going to pan out, but yeah, that's the only reason that I have Brock Lesnar. I do think it's cool though that they did make Bret Hart. Bret the Hitman Hart. That's pretty cool. They have the A team, and I know I'm jumping around the screen here, but over on the left hand side, they have the A team again. Not really that interested in it, although I do think the van is cool. If I saw that van eventually at a good price, I might be tempted to pick that up. With B.A. Baracus in the A team van, which is so iconic, I might actually consider that. Next here at the bottom, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They finally have Daisy Johnson coming out. Agent Daisy Johnson. I think her code name also is Quake, maybe. I know she has like the powers of like sending out like quakes, like earthquake type of vibes or whatever. But I kind of gave up on that series. It really wasn't holding my interest, even though I think she is one of the stronger characters on the show, and I think that's a decent looking pop figure as well. And I know it would be very difficult to try to represent her actual powers unless they had some sort of base that was showing that she caused some damage to it, but that'd be pretty complex. So I think overall they did a good job with the pop figure. Bottom right here, some more Star Wars, and there's a lot of Star Wars on the way. There really is just a lot of Star Wars figures on the way. In fact, I think some of them have already started to be released, including some GameStop exclusives. So if you're a fan of those Star Wars pops, you might want to start checking into your GameStops and some other stores to see what's available already, because we already know Funko release dates. They seem to be very flexible, so just be on the lookout if you're interested in any of these. And then I saved it for last intentionally because this is probably what I'm most excited about. These PX exclusives Dark Knight Rises figures, or not Dark Knight Rises, excuse me, I got that movie on the mind because I was planning on watching it later, but Dark Knight Returns. The Dark Knight Returns, which is one of the most popular graphic novels ever, and for good reason. Very well written, very interesting comic. And, it's older Bruce Wayne, very much a tougher, more hard-edged Bruce Wayne, and it does have that infamous fight between him and Superman. So, in fact, I'm thinking about that now. That's one figure. I really don't think they need to have 4 Batman figures. It seems like they would want to have that version of Superman from the comic included in this line as well. But we know Funko tends to really kind of overdo it when it comes to Deadpool and Batman and some other characters as well. But I still am looking forward to getting at least maybe 1 or 2 of the Batman figures and the Joker, and I really do like that Robin as well. So yeah, I'll try to get a couple of these. And in case you don't know, PX exclusives means that you basically want to check your comic shops, but more than likely these figures will end up in FYE as well. FYE tends to get a lot of PX exclusives as well. So just be on the lookout for these. And you all can let me know down in the comments, what pops are you looking forward to the most? Just let me know out of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, which ones do you like the most? And then just in general, what are you looking forward to the most? Let's kind of get a dialogue going about that. The Wheel of Vinyl is the brainchild of Yawk Nerd. And if you don't know Yawk Nerd, you really should by now. Do make sure that you check out their YouTube channel. I will link it down in the description of this video. But again, the Wheel of Vinyl is their brainchild. And basically, what's going to happen is that twice a month, or I believe it's every 2 weeks actually. I think it's going to actually be every 2 weeks. They will do a live video where they spin a wheel. And people that have done video submissions like this one I'm doing right now, they will be eligible, and their name will actually be drawn from a hat in order to be a winner on the Wheel of Vinyl. Yawk Nerd, and in addition to putting their own name on the wheel, which means that they will provide prizes as well, they have actually secured a couple of companies and individuals that are going to help out with the prizes. So that's what I want to focus on right now. Which companies and which individuals are going to help out as far as the prizes are concerned for the Wheel of Vinyl. The first sponsor, I've seen this name around before. I know they have a Facebook page, or I should say she has a Facebook page. I know I've seen some unboxing videos on YouTube, and here's a good look at her work. She does these things that are sort of almost like a twisted version of a Fabergé egg. In the upper left there, you see that Venom one. Really great artwork on that one. And I also like the Ghostface one in the upper right hand corner. And then down there in the middle, you see, of course, those Minions ones as well. So that's a pretty cool idea. Definitely some great artwork there. The figure, or I should say the custom pop there in the bottom right, a lot of people have been talking about that figure, just how awesome it is. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. Very cool pop. And I actually very much remember the movie. I believe it came out either in the late 80s or early 90s. A movie that probably wasn't completely appropriate for me at that age, but I watched it repeatedly and I really enjoyed that movie. Very entertaining. And I think that is a great representation of the character. Also there on the bottom left, you see Anti-Venom. Very cool custom pop of Anti-Venom. Then some other work here, Nightmare Before Christmas. These look like stitched doll versions of those characters. Those are pretty cool. And then basically a Dorbs type figure, a Power Ranger there. So all around, very impressive work from Zombie Space Waffles. Do make sure you check out Zombie Space Waffles on Facebook. Next up here, Candy Corn Apocalypse. And Candy Corn Apocalypse actually does have a store website. You see it says there in the center of the screen here, store.candycornapocalypse.com. Do make sure you check that out. And you see some of his work here, including that baby Freddy Krueger in the upper left. Very creepy looking. And I know that's a reference to one of the movies. I can't remember which Nightmare on Elm Street movie, but definitely a reference to one of them. I'm not sure if it's actually designed in this way or not. It almost looks like it could be a door stopper, but I don't know if that's actually accurate. So if you ever happen to get one of those, don't take my word and just put it up on the door and smash it up. Okay, but just the way it's designed, it kind of reminds me of some door stoppers that I've seen before. Down there in the bottom left, Killer Clowns from Mars, I think is the name of the movie. Really a horror classic, kind of a cult classic, but it seems to be developing even more of a following, even though it's an older movie. I know I definitely enjoyed it. I think it's a great movie, great character designs. Would love to see those characters as pop figures, but I don't know, maybe it's a little bit too much cult status to have actually had that happen. But still, just great character designs. Really good movie. If you've never seen that movie, you definitely should check it out. It's either Killer Clowns from Mars or Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It might be Outer Space. Yeah, so somebody in the comments can help me out with that. It might be Killer Clowns from Outer Space. The upper right there, that is not candy that you can eat. That is a reference to the movie Trick or Treat, I believe. So yeah, that's not something that can be eaten. So if you get something like that, definitely keep it out of reach of kids. But it's very cool reference to the movie. And then I really like this in the bottom right here as well. This Necronomicon light switch cover. That's definitely pretty cool. I love the look of the Necronomicon. I've always liked that design. So having that as a light switch cover, I think is pretty cool. Up here, another sponsor that a lot of you should be familiar with, Bandbox. Now me personally, I've never actually purchased a Bandbox, and that is due to limited funds. There's only so many subscription boxes that I could get at one time, and I just kind of, you could almost say kind of taste test them here and there. I really don't keep a steady subscription, but Bandbox, I've seen some pretty cool unboxings, some really cool items they've had in the past. So you know, if I were to win a drawing and it landed on Bandbox, I'd be pretty happy about that, because then I would get to do my first Bandbox unboxing on my channel. And I definitely like the Jason mask. You see a picture there, the Jason mask that came out. They actually were, I believe, in different colors, but I think that black one looks really cool there. And they were signed by the original Jason actor. I believe it was the very first person that played Jason, not with the mask on, but the boy that jumped up out of the water in the first Friday the 13th movie. Another sponsor here, and this is when I really knew that New Yawk Nerd is not playing around, and you know, congrats to New Yawk Nerd for securing this sponsor. Entertainment Earth is an awesome website, really awesome website, and I really like, one thing I mainly like about them is that you can pre-order items and you don't get charged until that item is ready to ship. So it allows you to plan ahead. It allows you to secure items that you really want. And I included this picture of the Imposters because I actually did go ahead and pre-order most of them, not every single one of them, just the ones that I really want. I think the Riddler Impopster is the first one that's going to be released either next month or August, but I think it's July actually. And then the last one that will come out, unfortunately, is Scarecrow. We gotta wait on the Scarecrow one. I don't think that one's out till like October or November. So they're gonna be released like one or two a month in the upcoming months. And I'm definitely looking forward to them. As a matter of fact, I went back and got the Loot Crate exclusive Batman Joker mashup figure just to make sure I would have it to go along with these other figures that I'm going to get. And then in the bottom right, I included this image because I want to point out to you all that if you're not familiar with Entertainment Earth, they are not just about Funko products. They have all sorts of companies on there. NECA, Mezco, Quantum Mechanics, I could go on and on. They have a long list of companies that they sell products for. And yeah, it's really like a one-stop shop. It's going to cover most of what you're probably looking for if you are a collector. They also have like DC collectibles, and like I said, I could go on and on with all of the different types of figures and companies that they support. And then you notice that sticker there, the yellow sticker, Entertainment Earth exclusive. If you're a pop collector, you've probably seen that at some point because they do get some exclusive pop figures sometimes. And you can find those figures on their website, of course. And I think I have seen them in like comic shops and maybe FYE. So yeah, you can find those figures around that are exclusive to Entertainment Earth. But definitely check out that website if you have not done so. It's well worth a look. And they do have daily deals as well. They switch it up with a different theme every day. So, keep up with that as well. Really cool website. And again, props to New York Nerd for landing them as a sponsor. I'm pretty sure they're going to offer up something great for the Wheel of Vinyl. And then, like I said at the beginning of the video, New York Nerd themselves, there's a chance that you can land on them within the wheel, within a spin, and they will provide a figure for you. I think they're going to be pretty flexible about what they provide. It's going to be based off your interest, I believe, and you can feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think that's what they said before, that they will try to tailor it basically to your interest. And I don't think it necessarily has to be a Funko Pop, but if it is a Funko Pop, I know they'll try to make it an exclusive, something that's really cool, so it's really cool for these guys to offer up a spot or spots on the wheel as well. So the Wheel of Vinyl, I'm very much looking forward to it. I know I've seen some other YouTubers that have already put their videos up, and I just think it's going to be pretty awesome. I hope that New York Nerd gets plenty of support and can keep it up. I know they plan to do it, like I said, I think every 2 weeks, which yeah, that's going to be some work on them, but I really hope they can keep that up and they get a lot of support with it. Maybe even pick up some more sponsors along the way and everything. And yeah, if you're if you're a fellow YouTuber and you have the ability to make a video, I really say why not in this case. I mean, you could get something really cool out of it, and you're supporting New York Nerd, a channel that definitely deserves a lot more followers, even though they're building up a steady following, and I think they're going to continue with that. But yeah, just show them support, show this promotion some support, and like I said, you can get something really cool out of it. In my hand here, I have my first entry into my first international, or really I should say first officially exclusive international giveaway. And that means that this giveaway is only open to people that are outside of the U.S. Of course, I do have my monthly giveaway going on, which is for people in the continental U.S. or just in the U.S. in general, you know. So this letter here, like I said, it's the first entry I have received. It's the only entry I have received. And I was going to say something about the international giveaway, but I actually think this person summed up the way that I feel about it pretty well. And this comes from Matthew Thomas. I've seen him commenting a lot recently. And Matthew, I'm sorry if I haven't responded back. I try to respond back to comments, but it has been kind of a hectic week with me having some car trouble and everything. And I know Matthew was one of the people that actually, you know, on the short video that I did about the car trouble I had, he did respond on there. And I do appreciate that for all of you that responded on that video when I had some car trouble. I definitely appreciate that. And just to let you all know, I am back on the road. I got back on the road pretty quickly, thanks to the help of a family member and some friends, you know, some really kind people that really do care about me. I was able to get that all straightened out. It turned out to be more than just a key. It actually was a completely dead battery. And the battery's not cheap for my car, but I was glad I was able to work that all out and get right back on the road, because you all know, as an adult, if you've been driving for a long time, not having your car, it's almost like getting your legs cut off. It definitely, it really does not feel good. So yeah, so I'm glad that worked out quickly. But I'm going to get to Matthew Thomas's letter here, because like I said, it really sums up some of my feelings here about international giveaways. Okay, he says here, hello. First off, I want to say thank you. The fact that people in the pop vinyl community are so giving amazes me. I'm a huge fan of the figures because they look awesome, and my daughter is fascinated by them. She is 17 months old. I can't let her hold them herself because, but she touches them and laughs hard. Okay, and of course, 17-month-old, I think we understand why he doesn't just let her hold them, because there's even warnings. If you actually look, there are warnings on the packages that tell you really these should not be handled by small children. So I hope people actually adhere to that. Continuing on here, he says it brings a huge smile to my face. I would love to enter your international giveaway, and of course, Matthew, you are entered. I am a relatively new subscriber, so I haven't commented much, but I've watched all of your recent videos. And by the way, Matthew has been commenting a lot. I've been noticing that. I do pay attention. He says, the idea that somebody would whine about writing a letter amazes me. You're doing a great deal more. Once again, thank you very much. And that's the part I really want to talk about. And again, you can see I'm not making it up. He said it here himself. Again, the idea that somebody would whine about writing a letter amazes me. You're doing a great deal more. And he does have a PS here. It's just to make sure I let him know that I received his letter. And Matthew, hopefully you're actually watching this, so you already know, but I will still shoot you an email if I don't see a response on this video. But that's what I want to talk about just real quick here. And I'm not going to get into the details of the giveaway. You can go back and check the video that talks about the rules for the giveaway, for the monthly giveaway. And hang on for just a second here. Of course, this is one of the figures that you can receive, though, if you are entered in the monthly giveaway, which is for the U.S. And you will get another figure along with it. But like I said, I'm not going to get into all the details of that. Just go back and check the previous video. And then I said for the international giveaway, I'll really work it out with you depending on where you actually live. So if Matthew ends up being the only person internationally that enters, I mean, he's the winner automatically. I only have to do a drawing. And right now, he's the only letter I received. There's still plenty of time. I'm not going to even say the cutoff date because, again, you can check the previous video on that. But like Matthew said, I'm doing a great deal more. For me to, not being a wealthy man, a lot of the figures that I do have a large collection, but a lot of things have been through trades or, people just kindly giving me things, and, just different ways that I worked out to get as much as I have. This is not all out of pocket, the things that I have. And I will show you all just a quick little tour of my room here, because I do try to keep everything around me. I have plenty of space in my house, but I just like to be able to see all of my things around me. That's just the way I am. And until it becomes a serious clutter issue, that's the way it's going to be. But getting back to what I was saying, like the point that Matthew made, if you are from another country and you really want something that can only be found in the United States, you just got to be fair about things. Like with my international giveaway, all I'm asking for is a letter for an entry. And I have some people that act like that's asking a lot of them. I'm not pointing out anybody specifically, but I know there was one person, I didn't really recognize his name as being a subscriber, so maybe he's new to the channel, but he asked if he could do an email. And I mean, come on, I'm asking for a handwritten letter, or it could even be typed, you know, as long as it's a letter that I can hold in my hand. I don't think that's asking very much. And if somebody is not willing to even do that, then me not being a wealthy man, why would I go through the trouble of getting a figure and dealing with that high shipping cost to get you something? Like I said, let's just be fair when it comes to that, because I do appreciate my international subscribers. I really do appreciate you guys. I hope you believe that, because it's absolutely true. But at the same time, you know, if I'm going to try to do things for you and have international giveaways from time to time, you got to work with me some. You got to show that you actually are appreciative. And at the same time, I can't help but get this feeling that I know that there are some people that constantly point out in comments about how they can't get in certain figures. And I mean, there are some people that do that consistently on videos, and not just my videos, because I check out a lot of other YouTubers and I do read comments and things. And I see some people that are constantly in the comment section talking about how it sucks that they can't get certain figures where they live. But at the same time, roles reversed, would you do it for us? If there was something in your country that we here in the US could not get, would you be willing to deal with buying the figure and then dealing with the high shipping costs and hoping that it doesn't get destroyed in customs? You know, would you be willing to go do that for us? So let's just be fair, because I know I'm not the only person in this boat. There are plenty of other YouTubers. They're not wealthy either. What we do out of appreciation for the community. So, you know, if you want to receive, you got to be willing to give something in return. And I don't think a letter is asking a lot for that giveaway. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and step down off of my soapbox on that. Matthew, thank you for your entry. I was wondering if I was going to get any entries at all. And if you end up being the only person, good for you. I mean, you automatically win, and I will work it out with you to see what figure I can send your way. It will just probably be just one figure. I really don't know much about shipping to Canada, so I'll have to see exactly what it looks like. And yeah, we'll work that out, though. I'll be in contact with you, and you're not the winner yet. I'm just saying, you know, if you are the only person that enters, you'll automatically win. But other people, they got time to get their letters in, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, let's keep the show moving here. I don't want to bog it down, you know, with any drama or anything. Let's go ahead and keep it moving. Before I get into a tour of my main room here in my house, because like I said, I make very little use of most of the rooms in this house. It's a larger, older house. And the main reason I rented it out is because, I mean, the rent is just really reasonable, especially for the space, even though I don't use a lot of the space. But like I said, before I show you around this main room, I did not forget that I was going to tell you all about my thoughts on the Gear VR by Samsung. Quickly talking about the hardware itself, for the most part is solid, although this cover where you actually put the phone into, it does feel just a little on the flimsy side, and sometimes I do have trouble getting it to just go in there easily. Like even now you see it's kind of tough to get it to go in just properly. Like this edge is in there just fine. This edge doesn't quite want to sit right. You have to kind of work with this some. But overall, that doesn't seem to be like a big deal for the price. I mean, I think it's $100. I think that's the standard price for it. But I got it free along with my phone because of promotion that was running at the time. So, yeah, overall, the hardware itself seems decent enough. This is the trackpad that you use. You don't have to have a controller. That's only for like certain experiences, certain games mainly. Then it has a back button there and the volume here, that's definitely helpful to have the volume there, and a USB plug here as well, and that's actually required for some experiences on here because they do suck up a lot of energy. So yeah, overall the hardware itself is solid enough. The straps are comfortable and everything. The lenses, they do seem to pick up dust and smudges very easily. I mean, so that is another downside to the hardware. They definitely have to be cleaned pretty regularly. And then in general, your phone, I have the S7, that's what I use with this. It heats up really quickly. So this is definitely meant to be used in short bursts. And I think the most time I've gotten out of it at once was maybe around 20 minutes or so. And my phone was definitely burning up by the time I took it out of there. So yeah, that's just something to be aware of if you do decide to get the Gear VR and make use of it. Just be careful with your phone. In fact, there was one experience I was looking at. It was just like Avengers preview for the last movie, Age of Ultron. And it really got my phone heated to the point where my phone actually froze up for a while. It kind of scared me because I thought the phone had died on me. So yeah, just be aware of that overheating issue there. The phone does fit in pretty easily enough. I heard that it could be difficult to get the phone to sit just right. I haven't had issues with that. It's been pretty easy for me. This also here is to help you focus, and this is my main downside to the Gear VR. I have not managed to get perfect focus on it yet. It was really blurry when I first started using it. I played around with it some. I got it to the point where it's tolerable, but I still have not had a sharp picture. And it doesn't matter if it's a game or a video clip, whatever it is, I always have some blurriness. So that has been the main aggravation with this, even more so than the overheating. But in general, and I know I can't show you on the screen here, I can't, there's no way I can really show you what it looks like, but I will say that I've enjoyed most of the experiences that I've had with it. Some of them are way too brief, but there's a lot of free stuff, which is really cool. There's a lot of free stuff that you can check out with the Gear VR. A lot of videos. I know like Discovery has a channel. There's like a Oculus video, I think. Just different things. Like if you get it, really look around because you really don't even have to spend money on software and things like that. There's just a lot of free content to check out and a lot of cool stuff. And one standout to me was I think it's called Curios by Cirque du Soleil, which is an actual little mini Cirque du Soleil show where you're actually on the stage. You're surrounded by the performers. The main performance is directly in front of you, but you can look around and see people around you, and it's kind of creepy. Like they get like right in your face, and it feels like they're really right there. That's pretty intense, but it's funny at the same time. And I know I've tried more than one like roller coaster experience on the Gear VR, and it's really cool to like check out a roller coaster without having to worry about losing your lunch, So yeah, there's a lot of cool experiences. Overall, this has been great. I mean, it's been entertaining. I just wish that I could get a more focused image out of it. But yeah, that's enough about the Gear VR for right now. Like I said, if you get it, just look around because there's so much free stuff to check out. And I am going to go ahead and let you get a look around this room. I'm not going to show you every single angle and all that because I won't lie. I have so many comic books stacked up around here and a lot of boxes from shipping, like boxes that are about to go out and boxes that have come in that, yeah, I got to kind of get things organized. So I'm just going to show you some of the things in this room. And this is not a collection video. Let me be clear about that. I'm not about to try to name off everything in my collection. I'm just going to show you things real quick, what it looks like, what I'm surrounded by. So hopefully you like this look at, my living area. Basically, this is my main living area and what I'm surrounded by. For starters, here is my main shelf. And you do see I do have some Suicide Squad going up on here. This is basically like a DC side of things. And I will still do a separate video about Suicide Squad later on. I keep on, reminding you all of that, and I will get to it. So I'm not going to really focus on the figure so much. This is a Marvel side. Really, not a lot of Marvel on this side here. It's basically Daredevil and then, some other random figures up here. Got some mystery minis up top, including Suicide Squad and the Arkham series. Coming down here, this is the shelf that you all are used to seeing. This is basically my backdrop that I use for most of my videos. That's the area there. Coming on down, I got some more Marvel Ant-Man figures here. Got the Doom Space Marines. And then down here at the bottom on this main shelf, got the Walking Dead. And then Crossbones figures down there. Okay, so yeah, this is my main shelf, which really doesn't have much space left on it except towards the bottom there. Next to it, I decided to hang up these action figures here. Got Cable, that Scarecrow figure, which I really like, and then this figure I got for free from Power Comics on Free Comic Book Day. The character's name is Slag from an old comic book series, Wildcats. So yeah, again, this is like my main collection area, but I've definitely expanded beyond that. This little corner here, I got some overflow of mystery minis, including this, my first Suicide Squad double. I did get an extra Deadshot, the mask version, so I will trade that one out with somebody. The only Star Wars figure I have here is sitting over here, this Stormtrooper, which I really do like the design of it. So originally I was going to use that as part of a prize, but then the box got damaged, and I don't like, giving out damaged boxes, so that's why that figure stayed with me. But I actually do really like the design of it, so yeah, that's actually the only Star Wars figure that I have. Got some movies and random comics and stuff over here, and again, you see the giveaway prize sitting here. This is where I usually keep the prizes off to the side, away from my collection. I always keep those things separate. Because my collection has expanded so much, I had to take this little bookshelf, which was actually in the room that I use like my office area. I had to bring this over, and I put all my Bob's Burgers pops up there. Got Snake Eyes over there, the only G.I. Joe figure that I feel that I need. Then I got some random TV figures here, movie figures. And I actually had that flocked Poe there, but he's not going to stay with me. Poe is actually about to be on his way out of here. And the person receiving it, he already knows who he is. Yeah, so like I said, I had to grab this shelf just because that's, basically to have more space going on for my figures in here. I've shown this area before, but it has changed up just a little bit. This is for all my Deadpool figures up top on this particular shelf, including that Madcap Chase figure up there, and then I have Terror as well. And I could give a lot of shout outs for people that have helped me to get some of these items, but that'd be very time consuming. And I've done shout outs before, I've been pretty good about that. Next up here, this is basically like a Civil War / Avengers area. Moving on down, this is basically a horror shelf. And I'm not sure if I ever pointed out that I actually did get the Predator Titan figure to go along with that Aliens Titan figure. Those were Loot Crate exclusives, and I really did want to have both together, so I managed to work that out. Coming on down here, this is a DC shelf, mainly focusing on figures from the TV series, but then you see I got some others as well. And then coming way down here, all the way down to the bottom, got Brock Lesnar over there. I don't think I ever showed that I actually did pick up Ronda Rousey, so there's a Ronda Rousey pop over there. And then just some sort of random figures here, including these lovely Garbage Pail Kid figures. I'm going to keep recording because all I got to do is turn over here and we have my Harley Quinn corner. Now, like I said, this is an older house. The paint is kind of rough and things like that, so I definitely wanted to beautify it some. So I really like having this Harley Quinn corner going on. Sorry about the glare there. I got Cutthroat Kitchen playing in the background on YouTube. One of my favorite shows. But yeah, I got all these Harley Quinn pops here, excluding any Suicide Squad ones. And the one thing I don't think I've shown at all on my channel yet is this awesome poster here. I love this poster. I got this online from Hot Topic. This is called Harley Quinn the Bomb poster. Yeah, I really love that one there. In fact, let me show you some other artwork that I have in my room. I showed this off before in a previous video. This is 3D art done by Frank Kriasik, or just Frankie. And I really do love this. And like I said, this is 3D art. I got the glasses to go along with it. Very cool, and I do plan on getting at least 2 more of his prints in the very near future. I know one of my friends, my best friend, actually just got this exact same print, but she got it in a larger size. So yeah, I'm definitely going to get some more of that artwork. I got this awesome print here of Rorschach, which I finally did go ahead and put up. So I'm glad that I did finally get this one up. Really cool print there with that splatter style art. One thing I almost forgot here, just off to the side. Whoop. There we got Michonne sitting there next to these old Buddhas. These are actually, like, my family's had those for a while, so I still got these Buddha figures sitting over here. But yeah, that's where Michonne is sitting at right now. Kind of a messy area over here. I got to clean up some, but yep, there she goes. And it's crazy how much of a likeness she is to the actress. This artwork here is done by a friend of mine that's learning to paint, actually going to like a class. And so I think everybody in the class does the same painting, but of course they come out looking different according to your skill. And I think this one is really cool looking. I had like a clock up here, just a decorative clock, but this is definitely better looking on the wall. And then coming right down below that here, and you probably hear me like leaning on my bed, this is basically my Guardians of the Galaxy area. I do have all the main characters represented now because I did manage to find a Gamora Dorbs at a reasonable price. I think it was only like $2 or $3. I think $2. Got my supersized Rocket Raccoon there in the potted Groot, you know. So yeah, this is Guardians of the Galaxy area. I still might add on to it some. Of course, one figure that doesn't fit in over here is Awesemo, but I had to find some space for him. So yep, that's where Awesemo's hanging out next to these Guardians of the Galaxy figures. I saved this area for last, as I did in my collection video, because this is still probably my favorite area in the room. You see I got some posters up here, some random comic book posters, a print that was done for me on Free Comic Book Day. But what I mainly like about this area is that these are the letters that have been sent to me from fellow YouTubers and just fellow collectors. And I actually still got to add some more up here. And as a matter of fact, the letter that I got from Matthew Thomas is going to get added up here. I like to hang on to all of these. And instead of doing a pop of the week, to wrap up this video, and I think it is about time to go ahead and wrap things up because I know this video's run pretty long. But to wrap things up, instead of doing a pop of the week, I want to give a big shout out to, see here, the name Michael Crowthers. He just got married, and he got married to Cheryl. Okay, she sent me a note here as well, because she sent me some items that was very kind of her. So yeah, those two, they just got married. They're about to go off on their honeymoon, and I really do wish them the best. You know, I know they'll be very happy together. They seem like a great couple. Michael is an artist. I know that Cheryl is somehow like has education in science. You know, they just sound like a great couple. Definitely very kind people. And, you know, they say that they're big fans of the show. So I think it's only right that I dedicate this episode to them, seeing as how they just got married. And I definitely wish them the best. Michael and Cheryl, you know, enjoy your honeymoon. Come back well rested. Start off your new life together and keep contact, you know. And Michael, I definitely have something on the way for you that we already discussed before, so be on the lookout for that. And that's it for this Saturday night vlog. I hope you all enjoyed the show. All of you keep contact with me. You know, I'll keep doing my best to respond in the comments. And I really do appreciate you all. You all take care. Until next time.